Hello everyone, I'm Peter. Welcome to our space for true stories. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. We will select the best comments to send to the original poster op of the real Reddit story. We hope your insights help them overcome their challenges. Thank you for being part of our community. Please sit back and enjoy today's story. AITAH for laughing in my SIL's face when she ran a DNA test on my daughter. I'm a 30-year-old man, and I have a 6-year-old daughter. There's absolutely no biological connection between us. We don't share any blood relation. I've been friends with her biological mother since childhood. We never had any romantic involvement. We were always just close friends. She had her daughter at 23 with her husband, who was 25 at the time. When my daughter was just about 3 months old, both her biological parents were killed. I'm not going into details for privacy reasons, but it was a workplace incident. Both my friend and her husband worked in the same building, and both lost their lives that day. Both of my friend's parents came from pretty rough backgrounds, and neither of them had siblings, so there were no immediate family members or relatives for their daughter to be placed with. Because of how close I was to them, I was able to adopt her. Even though the idea of raising a child was daunting and something I wasn't thrilled about at the time, I didn't want their daughter growing up in foster care or around people who had no connection to her real parents. So I stepped in. My family, my parents and siblings, know that biologically my daughter is not my own. My daughter, who I'll call Lily here for privacy, also knows that she's adopted. I never hid the truth from her. She knows that her parents died, and I've told her that they were taken by a bad person. I'm saving the details for when she's older and ready to understand more. Lily doesn't look anything like me. In fact, she's the spitting image of her biological parents. Most people assume she's my biological daughter and that she just takes after her mother. I've never really bothered to correct people when they assume this because it seems unnecessary. My brother has been with his fiancée, my SIL sister-in-law, for about 2 years. A few weeks ago, we all got together at my parents' house. My SIL saw an old photo of me with my friend and her husband. She pointed at my friend in the photo and asked who she was. I explained that she was Lily's biological mother. My SIL stood there for a while, staring at the picture. I didn't think much of it at the time. To clarify, she knew that my friend had passed away, but I guess she didn't realize that my friend had been married or that Lily wasn't biologically my daughter. I figured she just assumed Lily was my biological daughter with my friend. Here's where things took a wild turn. My SIL secretly conducted a DNA test on my daughter. She used my brother's DNA for comparison, and when the results came back showing that they were not related, she took that as confirmation that Lily wasn't biologically mine either. She then approached me with the DNA results and literally waved them in my face, accusing me of raising the illegitimate child of a dead woman. She said this in front of my daughter, mind you. I stared at her for a moment, dumbfounded, before I burst out laughing. I told her that I was fully aware that Lily wasn't biologically my daughter and that this little thing called adoption exists. Her face turned beet red and she stormed out. My brother was furious that I had embarrassed his fiancée, but I told him that she had embarrassed herself by conducting a DNA test on a child that wasn't hers and then flaunting the results in front of me. What did she want me to do? What was her goal in all of this? Was she hoping I'd break down and abandon my daughter? My brother claimed that she thought she was doing the right thing and called me an a-hole. I don't feel like I'm the a-hole here, especially considering that my SIL stuck her nose where it didn't belong. So, Reddit, am I the a-hole? Update. It turns out my brother thought I had an affair with Lily's mother and believed I was Lily's biological father. He had somehow convinced my SIL that I was romantically involved with Lily's mother and that I was in fact Lily's real dad. After seeing the photo of Lily's mother and her husband, my SIL thought Lily was the product of an affair between Lily's mother and me, and that I had been raising her under the false belief that I was her father. Eventually, my SIL came over to my house and apologized, explaining everything. Apparently, my brother had been the one who pushed her into getting the DNA test done. When I first adopted Lily, for some reason, my brother developed this bizarre belief that Lily was actually my biological daughter. He thought that I had been in a secret relationship with her mother and had kept it from everyone. He believed that when she got pregnant, Lily's mother told me that Lily was my child, but she would pretend that Lily was her husband's child, and I had agreed because, at the time, I didn't want to be a father. My SIL believed that I genuinely thought I was Lily's biological father. When she saw the photo of me with Lily's mother, she asked me who she was. After my response, she assumed that we had been together, and her suspicions deepened when she saw Lily's biological father in the picture and realized how much Lily resembled him. To clarify, I didn't tell her that Lily's biological father was also in the photo because she only asked about Lily's mother, and I assumed she knew that Lily was adopted. I had no idea my brother had been lying to her for nearly 2 years. She had the DNA test done out of her own suspicions, and my brother helped her because he thought the results would prove that I was, in fact, Lily's biological father. He manipulated her into thinking that the test would clear up all doubts, but in reality, he was just trying to confirm his own baseless theory that I had fathered Lily and had lied about the adoption. Of course, the DNA test results showed that I wasn't Lily's biological father, and my brother was wrong. He was too ashamed to admit to his fiancée that he had been lying about the whole situation, which is why my SIL confronted me with the results instead. My SIL also apologized for showing me the results in front of my daughter. She explained that her own mother had cheated on her father, gotten pregnant by another man, and tricked her father into believing that the child was his. Her father was devastated when he found out, and my SIL grew up with a deep resentment for women who cheat on their husbands. She told me that she had planned to sit me down and talk to me about it without Lily being present, but when she saw me with my daughter, she got angry, thinking I was being tricked into raising someone else's child. That's when she snapped and waved the results in my face. My SIL feels incredibly guilty, and she's furious at my brother for lying to her. I don't hold any anger toward her for running the test because she genuinely thought she was doing the right thing. I've even forgiven her for how she handled the situation, given that infidelity is a sensitive subject for her, and I can understand why she had such a strong reaction. I'm fairly certain that she's planning to break up with my brother now, and honestly, I don't blame her. When I called my brother to confront him about all of this, he admitted to everything. When I asked why he thought this way, he said he couldn't understand why someone who didn't want children at the time would be willing to adopt a child with no biological connection. He told my SIL that I was Lily's real father and that I had known all along. He even went so far as to tell her that Lily's mother and I were together when Lily was conceived. Both my parents and I have gone low contact with my brother for the time being. I know that eventually I will forgive him, but I can't do that right now. He assumed I was capable of something so morally low, having an affair with a married woman, getting her pregnant, refusing to take responsibility, and then letting her pass off the child as her husband's, only to step up after she died. It's a betrayal that's going to take time to heal from. To make matters worse, this situation has affected my daughter, Lily, more than I initially realized. After my SIL's outburst, Lily started asking questions that a 6-year-old shouldn't have to worry about. She began to wonder why people were doubting whether she was my daughter and what it meant that her parents were gone. I had to sit down with her and reassure her that she is, and always will be, my daughter, no matter what anyone says. But the seed of doubt had already been planted. She started asking more questions about her biological parents, things I had planned to talk about when she was older. Now, I'm forced to answer those questions much sooner than I wanted to, all because of this unnecessary drama my brother created. I've been thinking a lot about the impact this situation has had on Lily's sense of identity. Being adopted is already a complex experience for any child, and now she's dealing with the added burden of wondering if she belongs. She's been asking me about her biological parents more frequently, and while I've always been honest with her, I wanted to control the narrative as she got older, giving her more information gradually. But now, I'm forced to confront these issues head-on, and it's been emotionally draining for both of us. As for my relationship with my brother, I honestly don't know where we stand anymore. He's not just a sibling, he's someone I've always considered a close friend, someone I confided in. But now, I feel like I don't know him at all. How could he harbor such deep mistrust and doubt about me? It's hard to reconcile the image I had of him with the person he's revealed himself to be. I'm struggling to come to terms with the fact that someone so close to me could think so little of me. This entire experience has opened my eyes to how fragile trust can be, even within families. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation where I'd have to defend my role as a father to someone who should have known better. But here I am, and it's left me questioning everything. In the end, all I can do is focus on being the best father I can be for Lily. She's my priority, and I'll protect her from anything or anyone that tries to undermine her sense of belonging. I'll be there for her, guiding her through the challenges of growing up adopted and making sure she knows that she is loved unconditionally. As for my brother, only time will tell if we can rebuild the trust that's been shattered. But for now, I need space to heal, to reflect, and to focus on the most important person in my life, my daughter,